every single book written about Sicily starts off with a quotation from Goethe, which says, Sicily is the key to everything. It sounds good, but it means absolutely nothing at all. Well, nobody's any of the wiser for knowing that Sicily is the key to everything, and what is everything, and what is key to it. It's perfectly useless. Mine does too. I thought I can't believe on that. So I've started it that way as well. But it doesn't really mean anything. So if we want to find out a little bit more about Sicily, we've got to do a hell of a lot better than Goethe did. On the other hand, I seriously question, having known it fairly well myself and having made God knows how many visits there, I find myself doubting whether anybody can really understand what Sicily is about. I don't think even Sicilians know entirely. Sicily has a split personality in the most extraordinary way. There is nowhere in Europe, quite possibly nowhere in the world, that has had so many different continents. I mean, going back to the Phoenicians and then coming through the Greeks and the Romans and the Arabs and the Byzantines, and then the French and the Germans and the Savoyards and the Italians. Everybody has had a go at Sicily. And the result really is that poor old Sicily has had so many different conquerors, and it's lived something extraordinarily kaleidoscopic life. But it's never really managed to develop, I think, a clear personality of its own. It's a sort of hybrid place. And I think it's never really felt entirely at ease in its own skin. It certainly never did in the past, and I very much doubt really whether it is now. It's probably happier now than it's ever been in the last 1,500 years, as part of it with a good deal of self-government. But there's something about Sicily, I'm afraid. Wonderful it is, exquisitely beautiful as it is, constant benediction of its climate, the wonder of its monuments. There's always something in the background, something that's sad, something that's crying a little bit about the place. And I've failed totally to analyze it myself, but I know it's there. What Sicily offers to all of us is first of all an extraordinary object lesson in European history, because I say everybody's been there and everybody's done it, and everybody's gone through Sicily. And most people have left the most extraordinary monuments behind. Certainly the Greeks, because you have to remember that the Greeks were never a country, they were never an empire in the way the Romans were. The Greeks were an idea, they were a feeling, more like perhaps being a Jew or an Arab. If you felt Greek, if you spoke Greek, then Greek is what you were. And for that reason, the Greek world extended over an enormous area. It extended from Sicily, indeed, just about the furthest west it got, right the way across to Mesopotamia. And there, through all these places, Greek was spoken. And people like Herodotus, who was born in Halicarnassus, Bosnia, or Archimedes, who was born in Syracuse, Sicily. They all felt themselves right to be every bit as much Greek as Pericles in the middle of Athens. You know, Greece was a spirit, that was its strength. And it was a very, very strong spirit in Sicily, and it's left these incredibly beautiful temples behind, including my own favorite, Segesta, which really looks as if it's been built yesterday. I mean, it sits there in a lovely fold with a green hill. It's only about an hour from Palermo. And in its sort of seclusion and its serenity and its peace. It's absolutely wonderful. And Sicily does that to you again and again and again. Because after the Greeks came the Arabs. The Greeks, after the Greeks first came the Romans. And then, after the Romans, that meant eventually the Byzantine Empire. And then they rebelled against the Byzantine Empire, some ridiculous governor called Euthymius, who sounded more like a sort of toothpaste, and rebelled. And on account of having eloped with a local nun, which obviously wasn't going to go down very well in Constantinople. And so rather than go back and face the music, he declared independence, a sort of UDI, and brought in the Arabs of North Africa. And the great thing to remember about North Africa is it's only 100 miles away from Sicily, and it's not south of it, it's west of it, if you look on the map. And it's incredibly close. So he brought in all the Arabs from North Africa. And the result of that, of course, was that Sicily very soon became part of the Muslim world. I mean, they allowed the Greeks to continue with their religion. But basically, the whole thing was